He ruled the most powerful empire on earth. He commanded over 1 million soldiers. He had access to every resource, every luxury, every indulgence Rome could offer, and every morning before any of it began. Before the petitions, the battles, the senators, the decisions, he sat alone and said 3 words to himself. Not words of ambition, not a prayer, not a battle cry. 3 words that prepared him for the one thing he knew would be harder than any war he ever fought. He wrote it down. We still have it. Meditations. Book 2. The very first lines. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. That's the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, writing that sentence to himself every morning. Now you might be thinking that's a bleak way to start the day. And Marcus Aurelius would say, that's exactly the point. This episode is about the 3 words embedded in that passage. 3 words that psychologists are quietly rediscovering, 2,000 years after he wrote them. 3 words that could change the way you walk into every difficult conversation. Every frustrating morning, every day that starts badly before 9 a.m., stick with me. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself this. The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and difficult. That comes from Marcus Aurelius, and it sounds harsh, almost cynical. But it wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. Before meetings, before decisions, before stepping into the chaos of the day, he grounded himself with something simple. Not a ritual, not a long philosophy, just a rule. 3 words. Expect the worst. Because the real problem isn't that people are difficult, it's that we expect them not to be. And that expectation is where the suffering begins. Most anxiety today doesn't come from danger, it comes from friction. A coworker undermines you, an email feels off, a friend doesn't reply, a stranger cuts you off in traffic. Each moment is small, but they stack. Not because they're unbearable, but because they're unexpected. We assume people will be fair, polite, reasonable. And when reality breaks that script, we react. Immediately, emotionally. The Stoics saw this clearly. It's not events that disturb us, it's our assumptions about them. Marcus trained himself to remove that assumption. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius wasn't writing for an audience. He wasn't building a brand. He was writing to himself. What we now call meditations was just his private journal, notes, reminders, corrections, a conversation with his own mind. And this was a man under constant pressure. He ruled an empire during war, during plague, during instability. If anyone had a reason to feel overwhelmed, it was him. But instead of reacting outward, he trained inward. He followed Stoicism, a philosophy built on a simple idea. You can't control the world, but you can control your response. So he built small mental habits, short reminders, things he could carry into the day, and one of the most powerful was this: expect the worst. Part 1. Expect human nature, not perfection. Marcus writes, the people I deal with today will be difficult, not because they're evil, but because they're human. This isn't bitterness, it's clarity. The mistake most of us make is expecting people to behave better than they're able to. We expect fairness in systems driven by self-interest. We expect clarity from people who are confused. We expect kindness from people who are struggling. And when those expectations break, we don't just notice it, we react to it, not to the behavior itself, but to the gap between reality and expectation. Marcus removes that gap before the day even begins. To expect the worst doesn't mean thinking everyone is terrible, it means understanding human nature. People act from fear, from habit, from limitation. They don't always see clearly, and expecting clarity from someone who lacks it creates frustration. Think about this. You send a message, you put thought into it, hours pass. No reply. Your mind fills the silence. They're ignoring me. They don't respect me. Something's wrong. But later, you find out they were busy, distracted, overwhelmed. The issue wasn't the delay, it was your assumption. Now imagine starting the day differently. People may be slow to respond, people may be distracted, people may not meet my expectations. Now when it happens, you're not surprised. You're steady, so try this. Instead of saying, people should be reasonable today, say, people will act according to their nature today. You're not lowering your standards, you're adjusting your expectations, and that changes everything. Part 2. Separate events from judgment. Marcus writes, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. This is the core insight. Events happen. Then the mind adds meaning, and that meaning creates emotion. Expecting the worst helps you weaken that automatic meaning. If you already expect difficulty, you don't scramble to explain it. There's no story, just reality. And in that moment, you gain space between what happened and how you respond. Here's an example. You're in a meeting. You share an idea. Someone cuts you off, dismisses it quickly. Your reaction is instant. Frustration, embarrassment, defensiveness. But pause. What actually happened? Someone interrupted you. That's it. Everything else is interpretation. Now imagine you expected this. People may interrupt. People may dismiss. Now when it happens, it still registers, but it doesn't control you because it fits your expectation. So practice this. Label things neutrally. Instead of, they disrespected me, say, they interrupted me, instead of, this is a disaster. Say, this didn't go as planned. You're not denying emotion. You're delaying judgment. You're giving yourself time, and in that time, you regain control. Part 3. Focus on your role, not theirs. Marcus writes, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is where the rule becomes powerful. Expecting the worst frees you from trying to control other people and brings your attention back to one place, yourself. Because once you accept that people won't always behave, well, you can decide how you will behave. If others are impatient, will you be patient? If others are dishonest, will you be honest? If others are reactive, will you stay calm? That's the real practice. Here's a modern example. You're dealing with a difficult client. They're unclear, demanding, always changing direction. You can spend the day frustrated, trying to fix them, or you can shift the question. What does professionalism look like from me? Clear communication, calm tone, strong boundaries. You can't control them, but you can define yourself. So start your day with this, no matter what happens. I will respond with clarity and patience, not perfectly, but consistently. And when things go wrong, you return to that again and again. That's the discipline. What Marcus practiced lines up closely with modern psychology, especially cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT teaches that thoughts shape emotions, not events themselves. That's exactly what Marcus said. It's not the thing, it's your estimate of it. There's also something called expectation management. When expectations are rigid, things should go smoothly. People should be fair. Any disruption feels personal, but when expectations are flexible, things may go wrong. People may act unpredictably. The same events feel manageable. Expect the worst. widens your definition of normal. There's also a concept called response flexibility, the ability to pause before reacting. By expecting difficulty, you remove surprise. And when surprise is gone, you gain control. Another idea is implementation intention. If this happens, I will respond this way. Marcus was doing exactly that. If people are difficult, I will remain steady. So this isn't just philosophy, it's mental training, simple, repeatable, effective. Try this for the next 7 days, every morning, just 1 minute. Before your phone, before work. Sit quietly and say this. Today, people may be impatient, unclear, distracted, difficult. That's part of being human. My job is to respond with clarity, patience, and self-control. That's it. 3 steps. Name the friction. Normalize it. Choose your response. Then during the day, when something triggers you, pause and ask, did I expect this? If yes, it loses its power. If no, adjust for tomorrow. At night, take 30 seconds. Where did I react? Where did I stay steady? No judgment, just awareness. That's how this works. Small reps every day. Marcus Aurelius never meant for us to read his thoughts. They were private, written in the middle of a difficult life. And maybe that's why they still matter. They're not polished. They're not performative. They're practical. If this resonates, spend time with meditations, not to finish it, but to return to it. A few lines in the morning, a quiet reset. Because the goal isn't to remove difficulty, it's to meet it without losing yourself. And sometimes that starts with 3 simple words. Expect the worst.